Ja Morant had an outstanding year for the Memphis Grizzlies. We saw them reach the second seed and Ja Morant reach MVP conversations. Now, this led to Ja Morant winning the Most Improved Player award for 2021-2022 NBA season. Now, there's a ton of controversy around him getting this award, saying that he was, too good for the award. There was better candidates above him. So I am a supporter that Ja Morant should definitely deserve this award. I mean, if you think about it, he went from not making the All-Star team last year to not only becoming an All-Star starter, but then also having legitimate MVP conversations and his team being the second in the Western Conference. That's a huge jump from a player. I really can't remember the last time we saw that jump. We saw Luka make that jump a couple years ago. But Ja Morant really made a huge jump, and I think he absolutely deserves this award 100% out of the class that was in here. We saw Dejante Murray and Darius Garland finish as finalists, and then we also saw some runners-up in Desmond Bane and Jordane Poole. Honestly, this year, the Most Improved Player award, there was a lot of candidates, and I think one that was, that wasn't talked about enough was Anthony Simons as well, but I think they got it right with Ja Morant. So I went back and compared the stats and looked at some of the previous Most Improved Award winners and see if they got this one right. So starting out with the finalists for Most Improved this year, it was Dejante Murray, Darius Garland, and Ja Morant. Now, this year, Dejante Murray averaged 21.1 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 9.2 assists. Darius Garland averaged 21.7 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 8.6 assists. And Ja Morant averaged 27.4 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 6.7 assists. Now, so that was an increase. So for Dejante Murray increased from last season, he increased by 5.4 points, 1.2 rebounds, and 3.8 assists. Darius Garland increased by 4.3 points, 0.7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, while Ja Morant increased by 8.3 points, 1.7 rebounds, and went down in assists by 0.7 because his shot volume just jumped up a crazy amount because of his skill level. And we also can't forget about the runners-up who also deserve to be in serious conversation of this award. You have Desmond Bane, who increased by 9 points, 1.3 rebounds, and 1 assist. And Jordane Poole, who increased by 6.5 points, 1.6 rebounds, and 2.1 assists. So first looking at the points department, Ja Morant takes the cake here by averaging 8.3 more points this year. That blows his competition out of the water. In terms of rebounding, Ja Morant did increase the most in rebounding. These are all guards, so that number matters a little less. However, he did go down in assists by 0.7, and being your point guard, you need on the average, a good amount of assists, but he still averaged 6.7 assists. Like, that's still really good numbers at the point guard position, but his two other candidates where, that's their expertise is, being a great playmaker in Darius Garland, who averaged 8.6 assists and increased his assist count by 2.5, and then you have Dejante Murray, who averaged 9.2 assists and increased his assist amount by 3.8. So Morant does have the disadvantage there, but his points really stand out in this department. So let's move on to... So one of the main arguments against Ja Morant winning this, and I've been hearing this one a lot, is that Ja Morant doesn't deserve this award because it's not meant to be given to a player of his caliber, pretty much saying that the most improved player should not go to someone in MVP conversations, and I think that's just completely wrong. Because if you improve so much that you become an MVP conversation, why would that not make you eligible for this award? One of the main arguments I've been hearing about Ja Morant is that he does not deserve this award because the award is not meant for a player of his caliber. Pretty much saying if you're in the MVP conversation, you should be eliminated from this award, which I think is completely wrong because if you improve so much that you're now in the MVP conversation, why does that make you any less eligible for this award? And another argument that I'm hearing is that Ja Morant didn't improve the most, but they gave it to him because he improved as well as he was the best player out of the voting, out of the players in the voting, which I also think that's incorrect in terms of what this award is. So I look back at the last 4 most improved players and see if I can find any similarities, numbers to back up why I think Ja Morant deserves this award. So going back to last year, 2021, Julius Randle won this award. He averaged 24.1 points a game, 10.2 rebounds, and 6 assists. And he beat out Jeremy Grant, who averaged 22 points per game, 4 rebounds a game, and 3 assists a game. And Michael Porter, who averaged 19 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 1 assist. So the best player here is obviously Julius Randle, and Julius Randle was another one of those players who jumped up in the MVP conversation late in the season, and I didn't hear anything about that. He was also an MVP candidate for the Knicks last year. Not a legitimate one, but he was in the conversation, and he still won the award, and I didn't hear this too good for the award issue last year. So I don't know what's new this year. Moving down to 2022, we have Brandon Ingram who won this award, and this is where it gets interesting, and it kind of goes against me here, but we'll get into it. So Brandon Ingram won the award and averaged 23.8 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. While Luka Doncic was a finalist, and he averaged 28.8 points, 8.2 rebounds, 8.8 assists, and Bam Adebayo, who was just kind of there. He had no chance of winning this award that year. 15.9 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 5.1 assists. Now, what makes it interesting here is because obviously the best player is Luka Doncic. He was an all-star starter this year, I believe. But this is the pattern that I'm seeing. You're playing in your second year. You're not taken serious for this award because the jump from rookie year to sophomore year is expected. Like, that jump is expected from most fans and analysts. And it's least expected, like in Ja Morant's case, you're not expecting to make that same kind of jump from second to third year. So that's what they calculate as improvement. What I've noticed by looking at these previous winners and, this year is that sophomore players aren't taken seriously for this award because their jump from rookie season to sophomore year is expected, especially someone at Luka Doncic's caliber. Now, do I think this makes them less likely to win this award? I really don't think so, but I see where they're coming from in terms of they're expecting that jump. Like the most improved, I don't think people expected Ja Morant to make the jump that he made this year. I really don't. Because if you hear about, going back to the beginning of the season, if you want to talk about, dark horse MVPs or Western Conference finalists, you don't hear the Memphis Grizzlies. So I think that's why Luka didn't win it this year. But I do think he deserved more recognition. So going back to 2019, Pascal Siakam won this award, putting up 23 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. And his competitors were D'Angelo Russell, who averaged 21.1 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists, and De'Aaron Fox, who put up 17.3 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 7.3 assists. Now, these statistics are very close, but Siakam was a far better defender on this 2019 Raptors team, and this is the team that went all the way and won the finals, and they were really good that year. So I think that's why he got the nod. I mean, his point average is higher, his rebound average is higher, but his assist numbers aren't even close. But Siakam played both sides of the ball, unlike D'Lo and Fox, so that's why Siakam got the edge, and he was the best player out of these three. Finally, moving on to 2018, Victor Oladipo won this award, averaging 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. And this one wasn't necessarily close. You had Clint Capella, who averaged 13.9 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 1 assist, while Dinwiddie averaged 12.6 points, 3.2 rebounds, 6.6 assists. Now, Oladipo is obviously the best player here. He takes the cake. The best player in the MVP, in the most improved conversation gets the award. It doesn't really necessarily mean on jumps. It's just how effective that player is on their team that year, except with the exception of if they're a second-year player, they don't get much consideration for the award because that jump is expected. So that's my opinion about some statistics in, and let me know what you guys think about the video. If you think I'm completely wrong, please let me know down. If you think I'm right, then let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.